So at this point with Kemba Walker, it should not be a total surprise that he has basically been removed from the rotation, like Tom Thibodeau has said at this point for the New York Knicks. And really, a lot of it, I'm not trying to blame Tom Thibodeau, I'm not trying to blame the coaching staff, but it never was going to fit with Kemba Walker and what the New York Knicks are trying to do as a basketball team. As a basketball team, the New York Knicks want to play incredible defense, get out in transition, and, in their moments, get their fast break points and have decent, efficient half court offense. They don't want to be the team running up and down the court like Kemba Walker is more accustomed to doing as a guy who can just get the ball and run down the court, hit layups, hit threes, do what Kemba Walker does. That's not what he's going to be able to do with the New York Knicks rotation. And especially when you think of the fact that, Julius Randle is basically the guy for this team. RJ Barrett is the secondary threat for this team. Alec Burks, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickly. Like, there's other guys who deserve to have the ball on this team in a extended role. And at this point, Kemba Walker has not been able to efficiently put himself into that rotation as a completely consistent guy. Now, I don't want to make it seem like Kemba Walker has played terribly. I mean, as a 31-year-old guard coming off a stretch where he was basically outed as the scapegoat in Boston for, somewhat reliable reasons, as he was not able to stay on the court consistently. He was not able to play consistently when he was on the floor. And in the playoffs, he basically was a zero for the Boston Celtics offensively, and he was a negative defensively. And for what it's worth, Kemba Walker coming to New York was just never going to work because of his defensive liabilities. He's not a guy who's going to shut down a 2 or 1 guard, and he's just not going to be a guy who even really puts up an incredible fight compared to other guys on the team, like Emmanuel Quickly, like RJ Barrett, like Evan Fournier, like Derrick Rose, like Alec Burks. The New York Knicks just have guys who can play defense against 1 and 2 guards, and Kemba Walker just right now, even before in his career, he never was that guy, and at this point, it's a little bit worse as well. Now, that's not me saying that Kemba Walker can't play in the NBA right now. That's just me saying that right now in this New York Knicks rotation, it doesn't make sense for them to play Kemba Walker, especially when you have young guys like Emmanuel Quickly, when you have established guys like Derrick Rose and Alec Burks, when you have guys who you've placed at the top of your team in terms of what the future is holding, like RJ Barrett, when you have an established MVP candidate in Julius Randle. This team is pretty much set. And it was going to be very difficult for Kemba Walker to come into this team and establish himself as a role player or starter from the very beginning. And like I said, I really don't think it should be a surprise that Kemba Walker has been benched at this point. Now, at this point, Kemba Walker has still proven that he has value in the NBA right now. He's proven that whether he is coming off a backup role as the backup point guard or just as a point guard who can be a solid player, he could easily be a solid player still within this NBA. He's proven that he can still shoot the ball with over 40% from 3. He's proven that he's not going to be a guy who is defensively going to shut another point guard down. If he's playing in that backup role, he can fight and scratch and claw to be better than the other backup point guard. I think if you have Kemba Walker as your backup point guard, you're doing a lot of things really, really well. And at this point, if I'm an LA Lakers fan, I'm getting really happy seeing something like this happen in New York, because you can almost already guarantee that Kemba Walker is either going to be waived by the New York Knicks, he's going to be traded by the New York Knicks, or he's going to, I don't think he can be bought out, or I don't know if the Knicks would do a buyout, but, maybe that happens as well. He doesn't have that big of a contract. He's, I think, owed $9 million this year. Something that the New York Knicks could afford to do. If I'm a Lakers fan, if I'm a Clippers fan, even if I'm a Miami Heat fan, if I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan, I'm getting excited by seeing this happen, because it's just opening up the door for Kemba Walker to go to a contender and be a backup guard, maybe, third or fourth option off the bench. Third or fourth option, I mean, like, if he comes onto the court, he's going to be playing with guys. If he goes to LA, he's going to be playing with LeBron, or he's going to be playing with AD, or maybe he's even on the court with Russ, which that would suck. But maybe he's on the court with Russ. He's not going to be the number one, two, or maybe even the number three option at times when he's on the floor. But that's perfect because, like I said, he's proven that he can still shoot the ball at over 40% from three. He's an 80% reliable free throw shooter. He's a reliable guy on the floor just in general. And 12 points a game for a guy who's shooting less than 10 shots a game, that's impressive in today's NBA, in my opinion. And at this point, I think a lot of teams and a lot of fans need to get ready to go in on this Kemba Walker sweepstakes. Like I said, Kemba Walker could still play in today's NBA. He still is one of the most shifty guards in the NBA. He's still one of those guys that can get a basket when you tell him that you need a basket. If I'm a Charlotte fan, I would love for him to come back to Charlotte. I know that it's kind of clustered there at the guard position between LaMelo, between Rozier, and between other guys that they have there. But just think about it. I mean, Charlotte would love that. I mean, he would easily be an instant fan favorite coming back to Charlotte. The guy who built the Charlotte Hornets into the franchise they pretty much are right now at this point. And just in general, that would be a good feel-good story. For the Miami Heat, I know they have Tyler Hero. I know they have Duncan Robinson. I know they have Kyle Lowry. I know they basically have a guard in Jimmy Butler, even though he's a forward. I know they have guys in Miami, but again, he's just another guy where you can't have enough scoring, and in one of those games where if the Miami Heat just defensively are not putting up the same kind of effort, or not effort, because I would say that Miami Heat have the best effort in the NBA, but if the Miami Heat are just in one of those games where defensively it's not working, throw Kemba out there, because why not? If Kemba Walker comes in and plays 15 minutes behind Kyle Lowry, you can still play him with Tyler Hero. You can still play him with Jimmy Butler, with Duncan, with Bam, with whoever is at that 4 position. You could still play Kemba Walker a lot in that rotation. The Denver Nuggets, they don't have a point guard right now. And unless they want to keep, kidding themselves with this whole Facundo Campazzo thing, I think it would be a good idea for them to get Kemba Walker as long as Jamal Murray is not with the team. Especially with Michael Porter being out, there's no reason not to go get Kemba Walker. I'm a Trailblazers fan. I think it would be interesting to see Kemba Walker come to... The point of the story is, Kemba Walker would make any team almost instantly better with how he can efficiently score the ball. And at this point, the New York Knicks, I don't know if they're going to cut him. I don't know if they're going to trade him. I don't know what they're going to do. But whatever ends up happening, whether they keep him or whether they let him go, it's going to be interesting to see because even if they keep him, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to keep him because he doesn't fit with what their team does. But he fits with what a lot of other teams in the NBA do, and that's score points a lot. And if they give up a few points on the defensive side of the ball, it's not that big of a deal. So, like I said, if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm loving what I'm seeing right now in New York, and I'm getting ready to go in on this Kemba Walker sweepstakes.